let's listen to. Will you agree with Sami, in the manner he puts it? The Media Foundation for West Africa has been cataloging abuses of journalists, and it had told us earlier that since January 2018, at least 11 journalists have come under one attack or the other from the public and even the police. Okay. Of course, we know Lateef Idris' situation, which is life-threatening for that particular journalist, but the police will not own up. We know that Ghana since has lost, its place as Africa's, bastion of press freedom in the 2019 World Press Freedom Index. Yeah. We fell by 4 places. Should this matter be looked at in that lens? And is the GJA and those calling for independent probe, are they correct? Is it the way to look at this?
We have no option. Yeah, we really don't have any option because it appears the impunity is not going away. So the best we can do, and for GJA to say there should be an independent probe, that means we want due process. Yes, so it's a call for due process. That's why I say we have no option.
The process by the police, is that not due process that they were being put into to accept that, that has been, sort of backfired for now?
Exactly. So that's why. So this underpins the call for the setting up of the independent police commission. Is that a rendition? So that we'll have independent investigations of these matters. I'm sure you have been championing such a cause. It would help. It's not just only for the police and national security. Indeed, all the security agencies. So that once we have an independent arbiter, so to speak, to do the investigations, it would help. Because what has happened, seriously, I mean, for me, it's an irony, an irony because, generally, this government, in our Ghanaian history, generally, they are touted as more human rights friendly and all that. The president is a human rights champion.
The facts are there to show it.
Exactly.
Criminal libel. He championed the removal.
Yes.
A number of the good cases on media freedom.
Yes.
He championed them. Exactly. I go to court and defend journalists, and I use cases that he did.
Exactly. That's it. So I'm sure you're talking about most, one of them, the Radio I case, right? Rekubobi's case and all
MPP, that. GBC.
All that, yes. Another very important case. And this morning, I was just, reading up for this. I saw a picture on your website, 22nd of September 2015. The president visited Justice Ajakuma, the one who was shot during the Let My Vote Count demonstration on 18 September 2015. The man was shot in the eye. And, earlier this year, he died.
Yes, he died.
The president said he will be counted as one of the heroes, in our quest for better democracy and all this. So it's an irony that for a human rights champion, during his reign, we are having a retrogression in our human rights credentials. So I think maybe he needs to appoint a human rights czar. Yes, Professor Atifa, though he's doing a good job at NIA, maybe he could be shifted, brought to the president.
Is it really fair to draw the president in this?
Yes, because let's come. Look, Samson, just where Honorable Kujetu left
National
off.
security operatives will not get up in the morning and report to him that we are going to arrest modern Ghana journalists for putting up an article we are not happy with.
There is ultimate responsibility. That's why it is. You see, we're excited to vote for the president because we thought that, this is a human rights champion, so when the president ascends to the throne, everything will be so good for us, and then it's not turning out. He has ultimate responsibility. Continuing from where Honorable stopped, in respect of the National Security Secretariat. Look, let's look at the architecture of the national security. There is a council, and the council is made up of the president, the vice, then the heads of the various security agencies, and so on and so forth. Then they have a secretariat. So the secretariat is supposed to help, put materials together, organize the meetings and all that. So why have we, over this period, allowed this secretariat to operate as if it's also a security force all by itself? As Honorable referred to in the Constitution, it says that, look, there's no power to raise this in a police force unless the power is given by the Constitution. So, Samson, let's look at Act 526. That's
Securities
Securities
we should
and
also wait to see what the Emil Short Commission had to say about this particular issue, because it came up.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Vigilantes. Look, the security, the National Security Secretariat. So as I said, it's headed by the coordinator, right?
Yes.
Now, the coordinator, these are his functions. I'll just summarize. That's section 19. 1, to coordinate on a day-to-day basis the activities of the national, regional, and district security councils and the activities of the intelligence agencies. So here they are talking about BNI and then the research department, that's of the foreign affairs, those things. Then to collate and evaluate intelligence reports relating to national security. C, to determine in consultation with the directors of the intelligence agencies the manpower level requirements for the agencies. D, to assist the relevant agencies to gather defense intelligence. And then E, to perform any other function relating to the function specified in this section as directed by the president or the council. So the National Security Coordinator, these are his functions.
No, but the last one, it says to perform any other functions as directed by the president of the council.
Yes.
Okay. So
yes, relating to the functions specified in this section as directed by the president or the council. As we said, the council is made up of the defense chiefs, security agencies. So these are the functions. So please, this morning, as I said, I almost called you because I was like, has this law been amended?
No.
Because where is the power of arrest? Look, I've read from section 1 to the end. There's no power of arrest. It's the BNI that has the power of arrest. Okay, yes, that one, because they're a police institution. Okay, so why would any look in the context of Ayawasu West? Yes.
Does it come within the? I'm just asking.
Yes.
For education. Does it come within the framework of national security?
Yes. That's the internal security organization, and then the research department is the external one.
So I have mine.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
You got my drift.
Yeah. Well, me, as far as I'm aware.
I was asking for education. I said, did you get my drift?
Yeah, you see,
you're saying that it's BNI that
if they use BNI.
No, he's saying that if BNI is within the national security arrangement, why will you say that National Security Secretariat cannot carry out police functions, and yet you say BNI can carry out police functions?
Oh, easy. The Act makes it clear. National Security Secretariat, for crying out loud, is separate from BNI.
But who is talking of secretariat?
Yes, that's...
National Security Secretariat.
Yes.
Are they those who we are talking about? Do we know for sure?
Okay, so the functions you read, is it for National Security Secretariat or National Security?
No. The National Security Secretariat headed by the coordinator.
Yes.
National Security Secretariat headed by the coordinator. So the story we have here...
So he's making you a distinction. That the Secretariat is not the same as national security.
No, national security is too. Let's go into the architecture. There is a council, okay, and then beneath the council there's a secretariat that's responsible for the day-to-day management. So I'm saying that secretariat, obviously, from what we've been reading, they said national security. Oh, you mean if it was BNI? These boys couldn't have said it was BNI.
Hold on. What Uncle Chris is trying to say is this: within that national security architecture, you will find BNI somewhere. Now the problem at hand. Can we really say that these arrests are being carried out by those at the secretariat, or when you talk about the national security in its broader sense, could it be that it was BNI operatives who did the arrest, but in the name of, in quotes, national security, since they form a part?
Kuku, has it got you right?
Yeah, there's a distinction. You
have
in terms of operation.
Yes. Wait,
sometimes in terms of operation, if you are not careful, you won't see the line of. The people could have been asked by the National Security Coordinator. We are doing hypothetical thing here. I'm not talking reality. The National Security Coordinator could ask the BNI director to detail people to go and arrest.
Yes.
And when they go, sometimes they pose as national security because of how. But in terms of the real, if you do investigations, then you will be able to tell whether this...
But does it matter now that knowing what we know from the Ayawasu situation, that the national security actually maintains a force?
Oh, that's a separate matter, and we'll deal with it. Okay. That's a very separate matter. And in the report, they have made a case on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'd love to hear that.
You have seen the report. You heard the report.
Let's have
because we in Parliament are asking for the report.
Thank you.
No, but this is Kpebu you are talking about.
So this is revealing. You are breaking
the
news.
government said you will not compel them to release it.
Yeah. But how come Uncle Kpebu?
You represented initially the two journalists, and then later, of course, because of what happened, you withdrew representation, and now you are stuck with Abu Ghraib.
Yeah, what you may find now is that when I appeared before them, I didn't introduce myself as a lawyer. Oh, okay. I think I may have been wearing this fugu.
Okay. Yes, let's go. Yeah, so my question is that when you went, where did you go to represent them?
At the police station. Ministry's police station.
Yeah, and before that, so from your clients, did they say it was BNI that arrested them?
No, it's National Security. And National Security has issued a statement.
Exactly.
I think that's not.
Yeah, so we shouldn't muddle it. Look, what is clear is that, look, National Security has goofed. We want to make it very clear to the Secretariat that, look, as far as my reading of the Act is concerned, they have no powers of arrest. The Secretariat
so can we look at the broader issue?
Yes.
National Security, as we speak, every day, people go there.
They can only invite.
They have a place. They hold
That's
people.
illegal. The cell is illegal.
No, it is not today.
No. Yes, and so we want to dismantle it.
And this has been with us.
Yes.
So,
and I thought that's why the president set up the Ayawasu West Wagon Commission. Yeah. Yes, because we want to dismantle those cells. Because it's so illegal, and I'm surprised. And this is where, you see, bigger, look, when it comes to these matters, I always say that, look, some of us are young, we are just at the periphery. Those who have the power and who choose to keep quiet, look, I think that we should read this because our society needs to wake up. You know that thing about they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak. They came for the trade unionists. Please, give me a minute. Let me read it slowly. So that those who have power, because some of us, we are just, so to speak, what do you call it, small fishes, right? So the big fishes should wake up. Look, it says what? First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. So please, this is a clarion call on the people who have power in our society but choose to keep quiet. Oh, we don't want to get involved. People will tag us as NDC, MPP, and all that. Please, you should wake up.
The accounts we also hear, is it not material to take into account the denials and contradictions that are coming so that you don't speak from a point of sacrosanct, sacred fact?
Oh, so the denials. And, as far as I'm aware, I just ask you, from what we know so far, is it BNI? It's been clear to us that it's not BNI. Is it the research department? The security agencies, those ones, there are two, internal and external. So BNI is internal.
No, that apart. I'm talking about the questions of, torture, assault, manhandling, all those.
Oh, but the boys described it themselves. You see, they described it themselves. You saw Roland Walker. They tried to simulate it. I mean, that it will qualify. It will qualify such degrading treatment. Even in the arrest, they were hooded with what? Black polythene. You want to suffocate them? I mean,
National Security says in their statement that acts of like torture are no longer a part of their modus operandi.
Look, in the first place, they have no mandate to have carried it out in the past as national security, as the institution set up in Act 526. No. If it's BNI, and you see the way the National Security acts is that if you want, like Uncle Kpebu even pointed out, if they need such help, operational help, you go to BNI, or you go to DISEC, that's the District Security Council, or RECSEC, or MSEC, municipal. You see, that's how it works. But as an institution set up, it's part of the civil service, sort of, right? As an institution, they have no right. Honorable Okujetu said no business. Maybe let's just say legally, to make it clear, they have no legal power.
Is it not important to listen to Kpebu again on this? That, and you just said they can rely on BNI.
Yes.
So the person who comes to effect the arrest, like Justice Yankson was trying to point us to, could come in the name of national security. But he's a BNI operative.
Yeah.
Or yes, or is it the case that because as a practitioner,
just one, some BNI personnel are attached to the national security.
Okay, they are close with the power
so
to arrest.
or is it the case that you as a practitioner, you and I know that when you go to be a national security and meet and take clients and all of that, there are specific people who are always there. We know their names, you know them. They are the ones who are always dealing with your clients, they are the ones. So must we understand, like Kweku just said, that those people there are BNI operatives stationed at national security, or what shall we make of it?
No, as for being stationed, the act is clear that persons, or anything apart from BNI, ordinary police, I have clients, policemen who have been seconded to be this national security, so I understand a bit of it. Okay. So as for seconding all manner of public servants to national security, it's the law. But when you get there, the point is that, look, national security is not set up operationally to engage in arrests and all that.
Okay.
So that is wrong, and that is why we need dismantled. Please, for crying out loud, we need the president to step in.
Dr. Yankson, I want you to begin by wearing your medical doctor's cap. You are a physician. For now, if you can put your law aside a bit and assist us. Because of the questions that have come up of torture and all of those things, and we know that some medical reports are out. We may not be able to say whether they are the genuine or not the genuine ones, but you could tell that it's not in doubt. Do they give an inkling, slightest, to confirm the things that we have heard, this harrowing stuff? When the guy was explaining to Bernard Avle also, that was even more dramatic than what we see here. Yeah. What do you make of it?
Okay, Samson, let me put in this caveat first. We are all not in a position to really confirm or deny these medical report as being circulated around in terms of the content, whether it's genuine or not. But assuming without admitting that these are genuine documents, I will want to pose two simple questions. One, was it the person involved who released these things, i.e. the victim, or...
He did not.
He did not.
No, he hasn't.
You see, there are only two entities that technically should have this: the person involved and the facility. Now, per our Public Health Act, when you go to the section 167 and the 6th schedule, we have what we call the patient's rights, and it is enshrined in law that medical records are confidential material.
Even if the matter is such public importance?
Yes, hold on. And if it leaks, please, hold on. You can only release them with the consent of the person involved, or where you have a situation, a competent court of law has requested that these things be brought to the court or be issued for public policy considerations.
Okay.
So if somebody is breaching this, the institutions involved, the investigators, we should bear this in mind. Assuming, let's say, for some reason, the investigators had to go for this, technically speaking, from where I sit, in the legal sense, they even need to seek legal permission from the court to get access to those things.
But they need legal permission to take their laptops and open them.
Yes.
They have taken them without that. You are looking for legal permission.
But if you take them and you also decide to publish to the whole world, then you are even doing more harm to yourself in terms of what the legal
you are accusing them of some wrong, and they need to they need to defend themselves.
No, but defending yourself does not mean that you should breach federal laws that are enshrined within our body.
Okay, so with that caveat out of the way,
yes.
What can you say?
Okay, now the content. Let's use the content of what we've seen.
Okay.
Assuming that these are a set of facts before us, and then we are confronted with a situation where there's been some torture or assault or whatever in terms of the description. Now, if you go through the details of what we have seen, there are certain things we need to bear in mind. the issue of time lapse.
Time lapse?
Yes.
Okay.
You see, when incidents happen, the evidence is best seen when you go straight to the health facility, at least soon after whatever may have happened. At that point, the medical personnel are in a better position to pick up all the signs and the symptoms that you may talk about. Now, when there is time lapse, some of these may have disappeared, especially where there have been intervening events. So when you get to that situation, the doctor will document what you are saying by way of your history,
right,
and then what they will also find on examination. Now, the fact that they may not have found certain things on an examination does not necessarily mean that they may not have been there at some point in time, because you came in late. So in this record, you see that the first time he visited the place was after some 3 days. And then the second was the 6th or 7th day. Clearly, that time lapse would have more or less marred some of the signs that you could have picked, because there have been intervening activities like medications and anti-inflammatory drugs, all of it being given. But the conclusion of it is that...
Okay, so you're referring the anti-inflammatory drugs. These were drugs given to him on the 3rd day.
On the 3rd
reference.
Day. On the 3rd day. See, the issue is that the 3rd day...
Why will a doctor prescribe that?
Yes, that's what I'm coming to. Clearly, at the point that the doctor examined and concluded that there is some musculoskeletal pain secondary to some trauma, the doctor at that point could not really tell what...
Are you saying what you just mentioned is on the record?
Yes.
There is some muscular whatever. What
yes,
did you say?
it's on the record. That's what the things that we've seen around.
Okay.
Yes. So what it means is that some activity have gotten to the point where the muscles, the bones, obviously the body, is in quotes reacting in a way by way of response. And that is what you are seeing as pain and all of it. And the best way to cure that is through the medication, which are the anti-inflammatory. Now, when you are beaten or whatever it is, battered in any way, the body goes through the process of inflammation. So the swelling, the reddening, and all that you see, these are the signs of inflammation.
And you are saying...
And when you are giving the drugs, and it is supposed to help reduce that kind of inflammation. And you are saying
that on the 7th day,
yes,
if a taser has been used on you, there won't be, it is possible there won't be, it cannot be detected by now a medical process?
Yes and no. You see, now we are talking about tasers. Tasers are electrical in quotes in nature by way of the activity. Depending on the intensity and which part of your body, together with intervening activities like your clothes being on and all that, you feel the shocks proper within the body. Okay, now we have what we call the, in quotes, the white society, the Caucasians, and in quote, African or the black communities. Now, when it comes to the Caucasians, because of the way their skin looks like, when you do these things, it is easy to pick some of these things the very first day because the reddening comes up so quick. But it all will also depend, like I said, on the intensity and the magnitude of the use of the tasers.
Okay.
Then, in the black population, some of these things, because it is something that you don't get so much of it by way of physical contact, you might not see it because of our dark color. But with time, you realize that if the intensity was that high, some of the areas where they were tight will begin to darken. You may now see that, look, even though it's a black skin or a dark skin colored person, that area is becoming darker than before. But that will come over a period. So, as far as the medical reports, as we have seen, are concerned, if we assume that these are the set of facts, it is not enough to rule out the fact that there was no torture or battery or assault. Okay. You will need further investigations, further evidence collaboration to ensure, to come to the conclusion that indeed these are the things that happened. And we bear in mind the fact that those intervening periods also did not in quote, help us because some of the evidence could have been lost.
Briefly, and I've seen this statement by the One Ghana movement, the ones that called for lawyers to assist the journalists initially. And I see a reference to medical report. They talk about breach of whatever, but you have spoken about that, so I will ignore that. And then go to a portion where they refer to the medical report. They say medical report and related issues. The statement is issued today, and is titled "One Ghana Movement Rejects the National Security Statement and Demands the Video Footage and Commencement of Independent Investigations." Video footage, okay, we'll come to that. It says, Mr. Ajafo was first examined 2 days. Okay, you said 3. It's actually that. Like,
on the 3rd day.
They should, okay.
He goes in Thursday and then.
Okay. Mr. Jaffa was first examined 2 days after the incident and reviewed more thoroughly 6 days after. His first visit, which was on the day of his release, was a voluntary visit seeking to treat his immense pain. The second visit was in fulfillment of the need to procure the police medical report and attention for his increasing pain. The medical examination of Mr. Ajafo, after a review on the 3rd of July 2019 by doctors at the police hospital, concluded with diagnosis of 1. Musculoskeletal. Okay, musculoskeletal pain, secondary to trauma. The attending doctors indicated, and same confirmed by our team of local and international doctors, that the first diagnosis indicates the possibility of battery. This therefore does not rule out the possibility of torture as being propagated by some media reports. They however note that this is suggestive but not unequivocally diagnostic of the reported torture.
Okay, hold on. This is exactly what I was talking about. Okay. You will need further, information, further evidence to come to a conclusion. For example, if we were in court, a medical report sent to the court by the physician, technically speaking, does not bind the court. It is of a probative value that would, it is one that, based on the probative value, the judge will decide that together with other sets of evidence or information that has come before the court will decide that indeed ABCD has been confirmed. So let me
quickly read the next line. It said, the doctors also observed small lesions on both arms which looked like insect bite marks. I remember that one. Insect bite marks. The observation of small lesions per our team of doctors suggests that Mr. Ajafo may have been confined in a poor and inhumane environment. The use of stun guns, sometimes called tasers, to transmit intermittent electric shocks may leave small skin signs similar to insect bite marks. The doctors also suggested that the lapse of time between the reported torture and presentation for a thorough examination, as well as being, okay, Dr. Yankson has spoken about this, but let me read it. As he is being on non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs prescribed by the attending doctors may have masked any additional overt signs of the reported battery. It is instructive to note that Mr. Ajafo was interrogated on Thursday, the 27th of June 2019, and was not interrogated any further, but kept all through to Saturday, 29th of June 2019. He reports that the national security operatives checked on his health from time to time, guided him through some exercise when he complained of back pains, and fed him well on the Friday of his detention. Could this have possibly been to allow for swellings and signs of torture to recede or resolve? The doctor who examined Mr. Ajafo first prescribed diclofenac injection and subsequently Doretta tablets, which is a mixture of tramadol and paracetamol to help him manage his immense pain. These are very strong painkillers. In conclusion, the medical report suggests signs of a possible traumatized event and physical torture, but does not provide conclusive evidence. Okay, I think you have said almost all of this. So briefly, now wear your lawyer's cap and your citizen, individual, ordinary Ghanaian cap and make a brief comment about what is happening. And he, Okujeto, referred to the rising trend and so on, and that journalists are being, I have been defending journalists, and I've been doing the cases since. It's not in this regime. So why are we looking at it in this direction?
Okay, see, Samson, here we are confronted with a certain problem. We all agree that this is not what we want for ourselves as a people. So at any given point in time, we should be able to hammer on this and ensure that we have solutions to them. Perfect. Ultimately, what will happen is that we'll have a better society for ourselves.
Okay.
And like you just read, today it may be somebody, tomorrow it will be myself. Now, I'm a union leader. I believe in workers' solidarity. Any worker who is tortured, beaten, manhandled, whatever the word that you want to use based on the particular set of events, I will not subscribe to anything of that nature. Because when you even look at the international landscape, for instance, I just returned from the ILO 100th anniversary conference. For the past 5 years, I've been part of.
To be there.
Okay, you missed a lot. For the past 5 years, I've been part of the Committee for Application of Standards. Now, at that committee, governments are hauled before, in quotes, the rest of the world. And issues of this nature are reported. And sometimes you see how difficult it is for the government reps there representing these various countries trying to defend themselves.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it becomes so embarrassing. And we don't want situations where Ghana will be hauled there. There have been instances where Ghana has gone there on some other related stuff. But as these things happen, the world community is looking at some of these things. They have been documented. And sooner than later, we may have to answer for some of these things. But if you look at the whole chain, the breaches of human rights, for me as a lawyer, is where I think we should also focus on. The way and manner the arrest itself was carried out, I think that we should get to a point where our security agencies, all of them that are clothed with the power of arrest, should practice the right procedure for arresting people.
Okay.
And should also bear in mind that per our constitution, the man is not guilty until proven otherwise in court.
Okay.
So you are supposed to give him all the courtesies by way of his legal rights. Spell out everything in detail. Let the lawyers have access to them. There have been situations, I know you are my friend, you are my classmate. I know instances where these things have happened. You've even gone to the police station, introduced yourself as a lawyer, and you were denied access to your clients.
At the BNI.
I mean, these things have happened. You know, we are friends. Yes. Yeah. So we
tell me that your constitution doesn't work here.
You see,
that time I'll say, yeah, at the back.
Yes.
And constitution doesn't work here.
And when it happens to journalists, we are all worried because, like we've all said, I mean, on countless occasions, they are the fourth estate of the realm.
Okay. It's
and
okay.
we want them to work in a very conducive atmosphere.
There is a statement, you know, on July 1st by the National Security Council Secretariat.
Yes.
That's to buttress the point that they were responsible.
Yes, I referred to that when you were asking about it. Okay,
but just to sum up, you see, earlier you said that the National Security, in quotes, may have released these medical reports as a way of, in quote, defending themselves, looking at what is happening.
That is if they are the ones who did it.
Yes, but the truth of it is that if that was their intention, like we said, the medical report is not conclusive. It is not good enough to conclude that they did not do it.
Okay.
And I think that the core that we should have a proper inquest into all that has happened, so that at least we learn lessons and correct some of the wrongs.
Okay.
Is in the right.
Okay. Thank you very much. And you refer to human rights. I think this statement puts it in a picture that I even didn't think about. Number one.